Kevin Durant would be in my top 10.
Yeah, he's not my. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
You would put Kevin Durant over Larry Bird? You're bugging.
Yeah, way better.
No way.
He's a top player, so
you put Kevin Durant over
Duncan?
Duncan?
That's why your list has Bill Russell and mine doesn't, because you're going off of 11
rings. You can't omit Bill Russell and have a legitimate list. Even if we're going 80s forward, Bill Russell just says, fuck y'all, I'm getting in that list. He's like, I'm getting in that list, dog. I mean, you can't, I'm getting on that list. You could say 90s forward, I'm getting on that list.
When he was winning all these championships, 8?
He was playing good players. He was playing Wilt. He was busting Wilt's ass.
Yeah, listen, busting.
He was busting.
We're not gonna go. He was not busting Wilt's ass. Let's keep it real.
Somebody's ass.
He was probably holding him to 50 instead of like 70, like everybody else. Like, come on now. What's good?
What's good? What's good? Happy Monday.
Happy Monday, man.
How's everything on the home front, man? How's the kids? How's the wife?
Everybody's good, man. Everybody's good, man.
Excellent.
About to bring my son to baseball practice.
Nice, man. Nice. What position he playing these days?
Baseball.
Okay, great.
Listen, he knows as much about baseball as I do. So I hope that tells you everything you need to know. We're both out there looking crazy.
There you go. Micah played baseball last year. First and last year he played.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, did you say first and last?
Yeah, he's not playing this year. He played. He never played. He played, so he's 12. So he was. He was 11.
Oh.
It was like September he played at he was 12 in February, but actually won the championships first year.
Okay.
But he's never played before, and at that age, because he never played T-ball, he never really hit off the tee. It was live pitching. It was kids throwing the ball, and
right.
He had a good eye.
Right.
He had a lot of clutch walks. To get that first hit though was tough. It was tough. The hitting part was tough, but he played hard, and they actually won the championship. They actually gave them real championship rings right then and there on the field in the last game. It was cool.
Okay.
So the first and last year he cashed out with a championship.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
So were you out there throwing the ball to him, getting his catching right, hitting right?
We did that. We did the hitting, we did the catching. We were actually going to throw. We were supposed to throw catch yesterday, but we decided to go swimming in the community pool, and we were just kind of hanging out, spending sun time. But yeah, we have the gloves and the ball. We were going to throw catch yesterday. I would get in the habit of doing that. I would throw pop-ups real high because it was his first year playing baseball, right? So I was just getting him used to catching those pop-ups. So I'd throw him high and make him run underneath and catch it. I'd roll it to him, make him get low, open up his hips so he can catch a roller and throw it back to me fast. So we did all those drills and stuff as well when he was playing last year. But he didn't love it, so he's not doing it this year.
So did he not love it because he was unsuccessful and maybe everybody else around him was more advanced at it, and maybe that was discouraging to him, or you just think that that's just not?
No, I don't. Well, I'll say this. When you talk about the success part, first of all, baseball is a game of failure. There was a lot of kids, I will say this, that have been playing for years that were on his team. There was 12 kids on this team or 9 kids or whatever, right? But 3 of them were really good.
Right. That's how it usually is. That's how
three of those kids. The rest of them weren't good.
Right.
And even the ones that were playing every year, there were kids that played baseball their whole they're 11, right? But since they could play sport, and for that season, there were kids that didn't get hits. They were just they were struggling too. But there was 3 or 4 kids that pitched and hit that carried the team. Right. So when you say discouraged because he's not gonna get there's gonna be a lot of kids that are gonna be struggling. He's gonna continue to fight through it. Micah just hates going to practice. He hates leaving. He is his mother's child, and that he is a homebody.
Right.
And so getting him to go, a lot of times we'll go to the mall, as a family. Hey, Micah, we're going to the mall, or we'll go to the supermarket. Hey, let's just get out, take a car ride as a family. Micah will want to, ever since he was old enough to allow us to let him do that, because he's only 12.
Right.
He would rather just stay home. He's like, can you just leave me? When he was 8, 7, no, get out, be quiet, go in the car.
Right.
But he's always been a bit of a homebody. And so I think that's more he would go to the games, but to go to practice every night. He just wants to be home. And so there was always a struggle to get him to really love it enough to want to leave the house. He's still trying to figure what's that one thing that he loves enough to make him want to leave the house. He is just the biggest homebody that there is.
Right. So I wonder I wonder, and it's not a knock against anybody's parenting,
Right?
but I wonder, what is your message to him when he says, I don't want to do this anymore?
Oh yeah, that's the
This is
easy
not
answer.
for me. Do you just say, okay, this is
No,
not for him? He's communicating. This is not what he really, and I'm not going to push him. Or
no,
do you say, no, I want you to stick with this
yeah.
and see, well, like, how do you approach
So
that?
that's a great question. So the message was, and this kind of was, so we were dealing with this like halfway through the season. I don't want to go to practice more. And the message was, a man, he commits to something, he finishes it. You can see it through. Micah, you don't have to play next year. I won't force you to, but for this year, you signed up, you asked to play.
Mm-hmm.
I paid the money, right? Like, you have to finish the season. I think that was the message that me and my wife both agreed to. Like, we're not going to force you to do it, but if you commit to something, give it your best and then finish and then see it to the end.
Right.
And then we can deal with after the season. After the season, he's like, I don't want to do it anymore. I was like, fine, season's over. You finish the season. We're not going to force you. But that was the message.
Is
You
he
have
the
to
one
finish the year.
right? Is he the one that came to you and said he wanted to play baseball, or did you say, hey,
No,
try?
last year he asked. No, he asked
Yeah,
to play baseball. I've
yeah,
given up. Yeah, Mike. Yeah, I don't. I try not to force. Like, first of all, if I had my total way, like if I was that tyrant parent, I would force them. But I don't. I
right.
don't. Like, my kids just don't. Like, my daughter played soccer 1 year. She did it 1 year. Like, she doesn't like want to do it. And then my
Right.
son played soccer for a few years when he was younger, and he played baseball that 1 year. But we don't like. You have to play sports now. We are getting to the point, not to get too personal, my personal life here, but like, we are getting to the point where my wife and I are like, you guys got to do something now, right? Like, my
Oh,
daughter,
you're doing it.
my daughter does Girl Scouts. I think that's coming to an end. She's gonna be in high school next year,
Yeah.
and she's gonna be pretty busy because she's going to a performing arts high school, like a specialized high school. Um, but there's other things within the community they could do. I think we're gonna maybe start looking into getting them to that, maybe some church activities and stuff like that, just to break up the week,
Right.
and have something else to do. But
Right.
no, I don't force my son to play football. Always thought I would. I think though a lot of it too. When I was telling my wife this the other day, when I was a kid, see, and I struggle because I don't want to live. You can't live vicariously through the
Right. Through
kids,
the,
right?
yeah. Right.
When I was 12, 13, 11, I always had a desire to play football, to play organized sports, to be able to play organized sports as a kid is all I ever wanted to do. 12, 11, 13, 14. We didn't have resources and we didn't have transportation. And so all that stuff I sort of missed out on. And I'd be lying if I tell you that when I watched Micah play baseball that year, like I just loved it. For me, just watching him play,
Right.
it was great to watch him play, but it's also great to be that dad to like root for your kids and play. But I think a lot of us kind of like, so I didn't take it too far. I got caught yelling a couple times, but more just encouraging stuff. I didn't yell at the refs or the coaches. But yeah, you don't want to be too much of like pushing them to live vicariously through them. You want to make them their own choice and stuff like that. But in a lot of ways, yeah, like I feel like I missed out as a kid just because we didn't have the resources or the transportation. But his path is his path, and I have to suck it up.
Yeah.
I just complain to my wife about a lot, and she tells me to knock it off, and then I knock it off, and then I move on.
And then move on. Right? Yeah. So for me, I would say, in my mind's eye,
Yeah.
I envision my son. Let me make sure he's not listening. In my mind's eye, because he's getting tall now. You seen him last week when he came and sat next to me. He's almost
Yes, sir.
like me. I'm almost looking in his eye. So in my mind's eye, of course, I see basketball, right? But he always tells me like, I don't really care for basketball. So this year he told me baseball, and I'm like, you know what? Whatever you say, I'm gonna support you, whatever. So now this year I plan to learn how to play baseball.
Okay.
I don't know nothing about baseball, but I'm about to be good at baseball. We're gonna be practicing it, and we're gonna do as good as we can at baseball.
Hey, Deion Sanders and if you could find it, Deion Sanders actually did a recent interview. I saw a little clip on Twitter. He was talking about like needing more black kids to play baseball, but how black kids have been sort of priced out. That's why you don't have a lot of black kids in the major leagues. But he loved baseball, as you know. I mean, he was a great two-sport athlete. He's coaching now, but he had I would encourage you to look it up. He had a great clip just on as black fathers trying to get their black sons into baseball.
Okay.
A lot of times they're priced out. Last year I will say the baseball equipment is expensive. You got to buy him. We had to buy Mike his own helmet.
Yep.
The
Helmet.
bats.
Bats.
We got him that special bat bag.
Oh,
Got him a
you
new
got a
leather
bat?
glove.
Yep. Yep.
There's a bat bag, right? Like it holds the bats on the side. The uniform we paid for. So the cleats.
Yep. Got some cleats.
And you gotta make
We
sure
got some Under Armour cleats. So I don't know if you was getting some Nike cleats. We got some Under Armour cleats.
Trust. I got some Under Armour cleats.
Oh yeah.
You have to be careful too. You can't get I actually went stupid and I got the Mike Trout special edition cleats that had like metal spikes, and they're like, nah, dude, you got to bring these back because you got to have plastic spikes.
Right.
So he's out there the first day, and I paid a lot of money for these Mike Trout cleats with the metal spikes. They say he could practice today in them, but like you can't come back the next day. So I'm like, damn it, right? So he's practicing out there in the red clay, and these really expensive, and they were white on red Mike Trout cleats. Man, I took them bitches home, bought a toothbrush, and I was scrubbing the hell out them things. And I was so I could return them because they were expensive, and I was able to return them. Yeah, even though he broke them in a little bit that first day of practice. But that's me being extra.
Hey, but yeah, man. So I'm gonna bring him to baseball practice in a little while. So we're doing that, and over the summer I'm really trying to strengthen my kids like academics. Like I don't want the whole summer to go by and then they go back like a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I got the 7-year-old and I got the 9-year-old, and they're spending a lot of time playing video games, and
that's all my kids doing all summer. Yeah, I hear you. That's all my kids have been doing all summer. It's tough.
I don't want the whole summer to go by and they haven't at least strengthened a little bit.
Good luck with that. Good luck with it.
A big waste. No, well,
good luck with it. I struggle with it,
bro. We got a pile of ditto sheets that they have to complete before they touch electronics.
I like it.
Yeah,
I like it.
It's a struggle, but that's
I like
what it is.
I like it. Yeah, our kids are gonna be in school. So down here in Gwinnett County, our kids are going back to school, I think early August. So our summer vacation's got 3 weeks left. I think your kids just got out of school, right? Not just at the end of June, right?
Like 7 weeks left.
Yeah. So we were out May. So that's the difference.
The love. Yeah, man. What about you? What y'all been up to?
Man, we've been hanging just like I saw your brother posted on social media. He was in Paris, I believe.
Yeah.
Looks like he brought the whole family. We were just out in Rome. So actually
that's all you were just out in Rome.
We were out in Rome, yeah. And it's funny because he hit me on Facebook, your brother Steve, who I love. Yeah, you know how much I care about Steve. Funny as hell. But he's hit me up like, dude, I was in Paris the same week you was in Rome. I was like, word. And I saw his pictures on social media, and look, he brought the little kids. He brought like everybody. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, I brought just the 4 of us, and I was complaining about it. I just brought the wife and the 2. He brought his 2 little ones. He had a whole family out there with him.
Yeah.
How come y'all didn't go with he didn't invite the whole group? What's up, man?
Maybe in the future. Maybe in the future we'll be living like you guys. Right now, nah, B. We're not there yet.
We're not living like anything. I mean, I got debt just like everybody else.
Yeah.
I got a mortgage, but to see, I mean, it's cool. It was cool to go to Europe. I've never been to Europe before.
Yeah.
Been to Trinidad, been to Jamaica, I've been to a lot of Caribbean places. You talk about like international travel.
Yeah.
But I've never been to Europe. It was cool. My wife had a great time. It was her birthday, so saw the Coliseum, saw Trevi Fountain, ate a lot of great pasta. Okay. It was amazing. The food over there was great. The people were wonderful. Nobody bothered us. Nobody looked at us any way. We gave her to mind our own business. People left us alone, and was real nice when we interact with people. It was great. I recommend it.
No racism?
What's that?
No racism?
Nothing, dude. Nobody cared we were there. Nobody cared that we were a bunch of Black Americans walking up and down the street. Nobody cared. Nobody bothered us. Nobody looked our way, dude. They were living their lives. We were living our lives. It was great. Nobody bothered us at all. It was amazing.
Good day.
All right, so let's jump into these topics for today. I know you wanted to talk about. Now, this is an old one.
Yeah,
we haven't had an opportunity to get back to it, but this was the McDonald's baby daddy.
Yep.
And the mom's reaction.
Definitely gonna put the video up here so we can watch it again. I'm sure this is probably a week, 2 weeks old, but
yeah, you actually got to put her. She actually had a video she posted where she sort of responded to getting dragged, right? The first one went out. I think a lot of the responses to her weren't the most positive. So she put out a response video in the car. I don't think that really helped their cause much either.
But you know what I saw? What else I saw was a video that claimed that whole video, the McDonald's mom video, was a skit. Did you see that one?
I didn't see that, but I wouldn't be surprised.
And then they went through like timelines and they went through pictures of like.
I wouldn't be surprised.
And they were matching it up, and I'm like, maybe they just want some.
I did not see that, but skit or not, there was a lot of top things in that video that are worth talking about.
Exactly.
Look, y'all. Every fucking day, my baby daddy come here with one fucking meal for my child, but I have 3 other kids. We have 1 kid together, but he only want to come and bring one thing to McDonald's. But what about my other kids? How come you can't feed my other kids McDonald's though? Like that's bogus as hell. Like you're not finna sit here and make my other kids feel left out, and you're only bringing one child something to eat. Look, there he go, and I bet you he only got one thing in there. I bet you he don't even. I'm finna expose out of him so people can see how he really is. It ain't more than enough food in that bag for everybody. What's up? Because I'm finna expose you. What? Because that don't look enough for all my kids. That don't look enough for all my kids. What is that? That's just one burger? One burger, one fry?
What he like? What do you mean?
Okay, what about my other kids?
What about your other kids?
Okay, but them your kids' siblings though.
What are you talking about? What are you mad
them
about?
my kids, them your kids' siblings though.
So what you?
So my other kids finna be left out.
You didn't feed them?
You know I don't give my food stamps to the 7.
Lisa, how is that my problem?
But if you're trying to help out though, you're not helping out.
I'm not trying to help. I'm trying to help my son.
But how are you helping your son when you're only getting food for just him and not the other kids, his siblings?
Lisa,
them are his siblings
Lisa,
though.
He's
not finna eat in front of all his other siblings, and they're not eating on McDonald's. Why do I gotta put?
Bring him out to the car.
No. He's not finna eat that shit at all if you can't bring enough for everybody.
Lisa, so you telling me that I bring my son food? I gotta bring your kids food too now?
Yes.
You sound dumb.
How is that shit dumb? You sound dumb. You sound dumb.
Where are they daddies at? Nobody told you to talk to them other. You had them other kids. Them your responsibility. They're not my responsibility.
Okay, but if you're gonna bring one, you need to bring it for all. How do that shit look that I'm letting one child eat McDonald's and all the rest of the kids can't eat no fucking McDonald's? So you know I get food stamps on the 11th.
3 kids that ain't mine. 3 kids that ain't mine. What
they're his siblings. You knew what you was getting into when you had a baby with me.
No, the I did.
Yes, you did.
You expect me to take care of all the kids? They're not my kids.
Okay, but you still had a baby with me who have kids with other people. I still have other kids.
Why are you recording me?
Because I'm exposing you. Everybody think you such a motherfucking good daddy. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're full of shit in this bullshit. You only come here with one piece of food for one child.
The child that's mine, silly.
No, that's dumb that you can't feed the other kids. Don't feed nobody at all then. He can't take that shit. He can't eat it.
Maybe if you had 1 or 2, I can maybe. You got, it's 3 extra kids. What the f***? You all like going to my motherfucking account, spending money on all those kids. Them not my kids.
Them are your kids' siblings, though. Dumb.
So that's what you gonna go with? That's the one you gonna
Those are your fucking kids' siblings.
They're my, so that means
yeah.
I take care of them.
So don't. No, I didn't say you have to take care of them. You can bring them something to eat if you bring one something to eat.
I bring them food every other day. What do you mean?
Exactly, but you don't never bring food for the other ones. Lisa, you know I get my food stamps on the 11th.
Your babies.
Okay, but I'm saying we share the same kid as well.
Absolutely. So if you want to, if you feel away about him eating, take him in the room and let him.
I'm not taking my kid in the room.
Send him down to the car. He ain't got to eat in front of his brothers and sisters. He come right out to the car and eat with me.
No. You know what? Fine. Give it here.
Thank you.
Give it here. Give it here. Give it here.
You sound stupid.
Dumb. He ain't eating this. You.
Why the you just do that?
Because you ain't bringing up for all the other kids. You stupid. Selfish is a like you're dumb as hell. You're dumb as hell. He not finna eat that shit. Dumb.
Take care of him anyway.
Dumb. He not finna do that. If you can't do it for all, don't do it for none of them. Bye, stupid. So the whole world is basically bashing me right now because I'm the baby mama who was upset at her baby daddy because he only decided to give his child McDonald's and not the rest of my other 3 kids. I have 4 kids. You knew the situation when you dated me. Our child is the youngest child. So keep that in mind before y'all make me the villain. That means all my other kids knew him. He was buying the McDonald's when we were together. My kids have to go through a transition of our breakup as well. Like, yeah, me and you broke up, but my kids got to feel it too. So now my kids have to see only one of their siblings get McDonald's and not the rest of them. And they know it's coming from you because, of course, like me and you used to be together. They used to see you. You used to do it for them. But now you don't want to do that for them anymore. Like, to me, that's petty. That's petty. Like, it's not fair. Like, you're not finna give one child McDonald's and not all the other kids McDonald's. Like, I'm not going. And then on top of that, you mean to tell me you can dib and dab and want to do it sometimes, but yet you can't feed all my other kids McDonald's though? That's what you mean to tell me? Like, I'm not going for that. I'm going to stand on what I said, and I don't care what everybody else have to say about it. Y'all could judge me. Oh, well, I could be the villain, but I said what I said. Like, if you can't bring everybody McDonald's, then can't nobody have McDonald's then. Period.
Curious on your thought. What, like, are you bringing McDonald's to everybody, Dwayne? What are you doing, man?
So I guess this story had like a backstory, right?
Yes.
So he was around.
He
was around with the kids. When they were together, he was around with the kids.
Correct.
You know, they saw him around the other kids.
Right.
Then I guess it didn't work out.
Correct. But he was living with them. He was with them.
Living with them.
Yeah.
And he was around. So is he obligated to bring them food? Hell no.
No, he's not.
He's not obligated to bring them food. Would it have been nice? Yeah. It would have been a nice gesture. It would have been nice, but he's not obligated. So you have no right to get upset at him for not doing that. That's my small take on it.
Yeah. I did change up my thought of it. Dwayne, to your point, when we found out he actually knew the other kids, that he actually interacted with them. So while does he owe the other kids anything? No, but I think it was a little petty to bring the one meal. How you gonna have your son sitting there, the other one's hungry because she didn't get her check, right? Because that was also part of the skit, right? She or a real life thing or whatever. She didn't get her welfare check, so it made me to believe then there's maybe not a lot of food in the house. If that's the inference that I made. I could be wrong, of course, but like, so your son is there eating in front of his siblings, filling his belly while they're looking at him hungry. Like, that's just cruelty to the other kids.
So is that on the father or is it on the mom? Because he did offer to take the son into the car and eat the food.
He should have took the kid and left.
Okay, he could, but he offered to have the child come and she said no.
That's her right. That's her right. As a mom, it's her right.
That is her right. That's her right to also take his food and throw it in the street.
That was bad, dude. Yeah.
She
did a whole everything in the street.
She said, "All right, give it to me." He's like, "All right, thank you. Stop acting like that."
And then she threw it. Yeah. I mean, if it's a skit, obviously all my opinions change. But if it's real, I think it's a big shout out.
If it's a skit, it's still open in the conversation to if it was real, like, how do you feel about it?
My comment though is more on Black fathers, right? Like, if it's a skit, it's fake. But if it's real, I think again, there's this narrative that Black fathers not really like. Well, and I guess this skit sort of makes me right and wrong in that he's there still taking care of his son, even though things didn't work out with her, and he kind of had to have known that she's a volatile, sort of like nasty person. A vindictive person, he's still kind of showing up trying to feed his child. Now, that's the point that I've always sort of made, but then I kind of, as I say it, think to myself, well, yeah, but she's also had 3 others or 2 others or whatever. Where are those fathers or father? Like, where are they at too? So maybe that does kill my argument that black fathers show up for the most part.
Also, I would say, like, so if it was real,
right?
He buys, a McDonald's meal for one of his kids. He buys McDonald's meals for the Is it 3 total or 4 total?
I think it was 4. I think it was 3 in there. I think it was 4 total. Yeah.
He buys 3 other McDonald's meals, right? So he's a good guy.
He's a good guy.
He's a good guy, right?
Yeah.
Does the mom now get used to him bringing meals for everybody every time he wants to come over? And not even bothering the other ones because now she has this good guy, quote unquote.
Yeah, she can take advantage. That she can take advantage of.
Exactly.
See, yeah. I think that I think of that. I get your point. I think that goes out the window when you made a decision to get with a girl, lay down with a girl, put sperm, have sex with her and impregnate her. You knew going into that she had 3 other kids. So right or wrong, and I don't want to get all Kevin Samuels here. Rest in peace. I know the black women hated him, but she had baggage that you knew about. Baggage, good or bad. It's a different dynamic that changes a relationship, right? She's got baggage, 3 kids. So. That is, and baggage is such a bad word. No. I don't mean it as
ride strong. Baggage. Go ahead. Continue.
But you knew that she had three kids, so you decide to live with her, be with her, and sleep with her. So now you're no victim to now at the end of the day feel like you're being taken advantage of. So I would say that I wouldn't agree with. You can't say, well, I'm being taken advantage of now because I'm the good guy.
Yes,
she's not going to allow her one child to eat in front of his brothers and siblings. That's just not. You're not a victim. You're not going to be able to convince me that this guy's being victimized or being taken advantage of it anyway. I won't buy that. I won't be able to go there with you.
Right, but this guy's not doing that. Right? He's not allowing himself to be a victim. He's buying food for his son.
Correct. But it. And again, I don't want to take her side here. We both agreed the guy's a good guy, but I do think there was a little bit of pettiness. You could have spent what you spent on that Happy Meal, one Happy Meal. You could have went to Little Caesars or something and got 2 hot and ready pizzas for the same price and fed everybody.
You're going down the dark path with that one.
Why?
Because you're saying petty, but you don't even know the dude's situation. You don't know how much the dude makes. So if it was me or you, right? It's not a big deal to, all right, these kids grew up, they knew me, to get them a meal whenever he sees them every other day or every 3 days, get everybody a meal, right? Maybe it's not a big deal financially. For him, it might be a big deal.
No, I agree. I agree. That's why I said you get a pizza for the same amount, dude, and it feeds more people.
It's all bad for you. High carbs, high fat, all unhealthy. Hold on 1 second.
That's another. Well, and McDonald's is so much better.
Not right now, baby. In a little while. You're not gonna warm up anything. Go ahead and put that back on the stove. And watch out for the top. I don't want it to fall off, baby. Oh, I don't want the top to fall off. So be careful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pizza's not as better than McDonald's, but it's McDonald's.
No, it's all bad.
We're talking about. Yeah, it's all bad.
It's all bad. So yeah, for the same price, you could have got some fruits and vegetables. You're right. I hear you.
Well, that's another conversation, Mr. Fruit and Vegetable. We also don't know if they live in a food desert or not. So, but that's a whole nother conversation. Yeah. I know we're pressed on time, so I want to move on to the next one.
Wait. So I just want the bottom line is the guy wrong or right for getting his son the meal?
So I think the guy's a good, so I don't want to speak out of both sides of my mouth, but this is going to kind of sound like I am. I think the guy ultimately is a good father. And he's showing up for his child. Right. I wish he would have taken into account though, the child's siblings. He still lives there with his siblings. It would have been better. I think you could have handled it differently by taking your child and just leaving. And maybe that would have been a different argument, but at least you try that, or maybe getting a pizza.
And my take is he was totally in the right for getting his son food. And the woman was totally wrong as far as her getting upset at him for getting the one meal. But I saw her thought process in saying, okay, if the one kid is eating McDonald's, how are my other kids going to feel?
Yeah.
So I got her thought process, but I just think she went the wrong approach, how she handled it.
And she was upset.
Pretty much.
She's got 4 kids. She's on welfare, and
Yeah.
she's
Right.
got no husband, and she's got
Yeah.
yeah, it's a bad place to be, dude.
Yeah,
It's a bad place to be.
Yeah, just like you said, baggage, right?
You know what I meant. All right. I wanted to talk about this Carrie Champ. Now you got to put this clip.
Yeah. Clip will be up there. Trust.
Now it's too long. We can't watch the whole thing. There's a lot going on there, but I think you focus on the part where they asked Carrie, they put her on the spot.
Yeah.
About the type of guy that she could potentially date and her standards.
Can you be with a man that's making less money than you?
Yeah.
That's a great question.
Yeah, what about that?
That's a great question.
Hold on.
Kevin Samuels.
Answer that question.
Kevin Samuels. Go ahead and say no. Be real.
No. That's a great question. What I will say.
She knows no.
No. I don't want to be with someone who makes a significant amount less. But if you in the family of where I live.
No.
Okay.
Let her answer first. Let her answer before you respond.
Okay.
Hold on, let her answer before you respond.
If you're in my family, like where I live and what I'm comfortable with, then I am not going to have a problem with it. Because here's the thing. The man who works on fries will cheat on you. So if I got to deal with some drama and you got to...
Yeah, damn, you went there.
Go ahead. So you say
she ain't taking me at McDonald's.
Yeah, you say you ain't being with because you think he gonna cheat on you?
No, my point is anyone
So you go into every
can...
relationship thinking somebody's gonna cheat?
No. I said anyone can do you bad. Not even just cheating. Anyone can do you bad. But when you worked hard and you have become accustomed to a certain lifestyle without help, not that I'm proud of it, I would like some help. I'm tired as come take care of me.
So you'd rather get cheated on by a person that got more money?
No. I don't want to be cheated. My point is, I don't want to be cheated on, period, at all. But the point is that I am not going to make a situation where I have to make myself be less than. And if I only date black men, which I do, despite contrary, popular opinion, if I'm gonna date a black man and I make more than him, like, I understand why that is. I'm aware of it. But if it's a significant amount less, I'm gonna really have a hard time with it.
Why?
I'm keeping it a buck. Because I'm not paying for you.
See, that's the problem, but a good dude can come, but a good dude.
So if a good dude comes and he makes
nothing. Zero.
Okay, no.
Hold on.
I'm not doing it.
She ain't doing it.
I'm not doing it.
So you got a
Sis,
preference.
I wish we had all the women on the damn show right now.
I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Because guess what? You know why I'm not doing it? Because y'all date the baddest bitches with the biggest booties and the smallest waist and all that other shit that y'all want, and y'all don't ever think twice about y'all demands. So if I have a demand that says, don't you make less than me by this amount, that's significantly better than what y'all demand. Y'all be having the baddest of and let her fall off. Y'all get 10 more.
No.
So
You can't
here's
put that
the
on us.
thought process. Because you have this unbelievable scale of what you think a woman looks like, which is unbelievable. I can't compete with the whatever the hell y'all think is possible that is created in y'all mind. And then y'all like, I don't fool with her because she got a corn on her pinky toe. Like y'all be on that crazy stuff. So for me to say I want a man who's gainfully employed and living in my world and not making my life less than, it's fine. He can have it. And here's the thing.
90% of the black men are out the window because they're not in your tax.
Okay.
What you about? No, go ahead, finish.
No.
Yeah, all right.
Finish your thoughts.
See, all right, so here's what
And
I'm
I'm
saying.
not afraid of none of y'all. So keep
I need
it
more
coming.
wine.
Kevin Samuels.
And we not.
I ain't afraid of none of y'all.
Kevin
So she
Samuels.
said she ain't dating nobody that make less.
Put CC over
No.
here right now.
I said
right now for
significantly
2
less.
minutes.
So if he
I
making
said significantly less.
let's just say he
Hold on,
making-
you just had your space to talk.
Y'all
Let's
fool.
just
Me
say-
and ESPN,
Can I
you.
have some
Say he
wine
might-
too? Because
he gotta be
they're
making
stressing
over
me
$250,000.
out, and it's not fair.
I got a daughter. She better not bring no broke dude home.
Fact.
Oh no, you ain't in the conversation right
I'm
now.
joining in.
No, you ain't.
I'm turning around. I'm not in. I'm out.
But no, so
I'm
basically,
out.
It's hard
so
out here in
listen,
the streets, boy.
Let's say you my sister. You making $1 million.
Okay.
Hell, you should be making for real. We look at the market. You should
Just
be making
get to the
3.
point. God
All right,
damn.
so I'm trying to get people to subscribe and follow and partner with CC.
Thank you. You crack
If
me up.
if the bread is good, and then you get and then you come to me and say, bro, you know, I got this young man, I got this gentleman. He's phenomenal. He loved me. We see the world the same way. All right, we about to have these babies. right? And financially, we set. I'm on TV. I can work for the next 20 years making $3 million a year. Okay? What I need right now is him to make sure home is good. The babies are good, because I'm out. I got to get Swaggy. I got to go get Kaepernick. I got to get AB. I'm going to go get this person. I'm working. We good financially, so make sure the home is good.
Yeah.
I don't need him to contribute from a financial standpoint.
There are
You know
women-
what I'm gonna say? I'm gonna say this. If he love you and he doing his job in that aspect, he cool.
I think that's beautiful. And I love that you are open-minded and you are a father that is kind. Do you agree with him? Would you do the same? Yes or no? Would you do the same for your daughter? If she met a broke guy and she's making over $1 million a year and she was like,
if he wasn't like a little
and
gangster,
he loved her and he loved her and took care, you wouldn't care.
Yeah, if she had
Same
one,
with you?
yeah.
Pac-Man, you saying?
I don't want nobody to date my daughter. I ain't gonna lie. I
Wifey did
just
this
don't want
again.
nobody to
She
date.
just
Period.
wifey just did
Yeah,
this.
Period.
What wifey thinking
Period.
right now?
What do you, would you care if your daughter married a man who had no money?
Right, I would care.
You say you would care?
Yes.
Why would you care?
I don't
Because
get
anything go wrong, I'm gonna have to take care of all that.
But
Why wouldn't I not care? Like,
how is she making
it do
money?
play a
She
little
got the
part in
bread.
it though. Like,
She
I'm
got
not
the-
saying he gotta make more than her, but this nigga need to be doing something.
No, he taking care of the family. The same thing you
What-
said with
what
wifey.
family?
Wifey, you said does wifey
No,
work? You
I'm
said
not
no,
just-
she work for
I'm-
me.
I'm thinking you saying that they meet each other, she making this amount of money, and ain't no kids.
I say you meet the man you want, right?
Like, if she making $3 million,
So
Say you
wait a
meet the
second.
man- Say you meet the man you
But
want.
wait, time out. I make $3 million. I meet a man who
he gotta be doing something.
in the story.
Say you meet the man you want.
I want to. Are we? Wait, time out.
Wait.
I don't want that to go away.
What'd
I
he
want
say?
you to say that a black man agrees with me that no matter how hard I work, how much money I make, and how hard I work, I gotta have a man who's doing something.
Why is that
What
important?
if he
You gotta
loses
be
his
doing
job?
something.
What if he loses his job while y'all 5 years in? and
I'm
he
good.
broke?
I'm
What-
good. If he
can-
loses his job, I'm supporting him.
And
five
don't
years
have-
in.
see,
I'm
nothing
there.
though.
I'm not going nowhere. I'm not
Can-
going nowhere.
Can you explain why that's important though? Because like,
So what's the difference?
Because I'm
The
with you with.
What's the difference? I met you when you was working.
But you know me.
No. I'm saying if I meet a guy and he has a job, 5 years in, he loses his job, and I'm the sole breadwinner, I'm good with that. Because I'm gonna hold you down and I'm gonna build you back up, because that's just what we do like magic.
What if he don't
And
want to
y'all
get built
forget
back
that.
up?
Right.
And then
So if he don't get built back up, you gonna leave?
he will be built back up.
But what if he don't want to?
And then that's more even deeper, right?
Like,
if he
say
don't want to work
say
no more, if he
comfortable
done,
being with the
he and I
kids.
are not spiritual. We're
Say he's
not even
comfortable
aligned.
doing, like,
If
you know,
I'm dating somebody, if I'm about to be with you, and you mentally just don't want to do
So you gonna get a
anything
divorce
else
no matter what the kids
anymore,
think?
then I picked the wrong one.
I think the comment was sort of like, could she date somebody who maybe was lesser socioeconomic than she was? And she kind of hedged. And I think the answer was like, no, right? She couldn't really go there.
Yeah, if they were too much out of her bubble as
Yeah.
far as like how much she made, then she's saying no.
And I think the examples that they used were a little extreme. Like, for example, I think they were saying like the guy would just be laying on the couch or just chilling at the crib and not doing nothing. And I think any person, for the most part, wouldn't like that, let alone a multimillionaire. Like, one, like if you could be a mid-level executive making 200 grand and your husband sitting around on the couch, like you might obviously not like that either. So
Right.
I didn't I found it kind of interesting, but also foreboding, because right now when you look at college, like by the genders, young men are not going to college anymore. Like the percentages are going down.
Right.
There's higher percentage of women going to colleges now than there are young men.
And so when you say that, you're saying that it's not looking good for men?
I
Looking
think
at those
that
numbers?
I think that for the most part, yeah. Also, if you are, I think that if you're gonna have a lot more women graduating college and have more prospects for higher paying jobs, and the pool of men is smaller relative to the pool of women, professional women looking for men, sort of like quote unquote on their like level, but you've got like less men maybe going to college, and you would probably need a social scientist or someone like that to really dig deep into the data. This is just two guys here speculating, right, just on what we see, but like we know that marriage rates are going down. There's a lot of different reasons for that. There's economic, millennials and younger folks are coming out of college with more college debt, so they can't really like get married, have kids, low birth rates. But also like there's this thing where there's got to be a compatibility as it relates to like profession or money, right? And so I wasn't like surprised by that answer, but like if you're a dude that's like, let's say you're a guy making $100,000, but you work 80 hours a week driving a UPS truck, right? Or you're a truck driver and you make 80 to 95,000 a year, but you're on the road three out of the 7 days, doing a great service. Maybe you don't have a college education, you're making good money, but you're putting in more time for it, right? And then you meet a Carrie Champion who's a sports commentator. You feel like you got a lot of things in common, but she's just like, you're not just on my level, like economically. Like, does that happen a lot, you think?
I feel like the feeling. So in terms of money, right?
Yeah.
When women are looking for a man, I might be shifting the conversation a little bit, but it all makes sense.
Yeah.
In terms of what a woman looks for in a man, they want to look for somebody to protect them, provide for them, and basically, somebody that they can look for to lean on.
Mm-hmm.
Men typically are not looking for women to do that. They're looking to be the source of that for them. Yeah. And when they can't do that or be a source of that, I feel like that typically takes away from a man's feeling of being a man.
But who
I feel like
that
a
way?
woman agrees with that.
The man feels that way, or the woman feels that way?
Both. So a woman looks for a man to provide and protect. A man looks to provide and protect. So if as a man you come into this relationship with her being the breadwinner, and you make your own little amount of money, but she's clearly the one that's paying most of the bills in the relationship,
mm-hmm.
it's going to take away from your worth somewhat, because you can't even compete with her monetarily. Now, she did say if she meets somebody who's on her same level and they lose their job, that she's fine with that.
Yeah, but there's an expectation.
She'll build him back up to where he needs to be.
But there's an expectation he can't lose his job and stay not working. Now, I wonder if that thought process is you just laid out. I mean, we're Gen Xers, you and I. You talk about the man wanting to feel like he's providing. I feel like do women Gen X or younger, do they have that same feeling? Because a lot of these chicks out here like, I don't need a man. I can do this. I can do this for myself. I don't need. Yeah. I mean, is that still the same, or is that just they say that maybe because there's not a lot of prospects that they would quote unquote like go for? That's not really on their level, I guess.
I would feel like as their, and this is just my thought, maybe one day we'll do some interviews and ask some women this, but my thought is
we'd have to ask our wives for permission to interview some single women
right.
about their views on men. And does a man supposed to need to provide anymore? I don't know. I'd have to get permission first. I don't know about you, but go ahead, I'm listening.
But I'm thinking as a woman gets older and as her options dwindle,
yeah,
the thought process might get a little more flexible. As far as I don't need a man, I think as you get older, I'm thinking they might soften up that stance.
Yeah.
And that's just my thought as a man. I'd have
it's just our thoughts as men. Yeah. If there's some women watching this, ladies, you think we're being complete idiots, please put comments in the chat. I mean, these are our thoughts. Another stat I want to throw at you too is like when you talk about this Carrie Champion, and like, so when I met my wife and we got together, she absolutely made a lot more money than I did.
Right.
And she actually sacrificed a lot to be a mom and to get married, stuff like that too. And so I think there was a lot of maybe like quote unquote like potential. Maybe she saw in me, I guess I would say. She'd probably call me an idiot to this day. But you know, when you talk about divorce rates, too, you got to continue to keep it though too, right? When you think about like divorce rates in this country, you know who initiates divorces? Do you know who initiates most divorces? It's the women.
I would guess men, but it's a woman now. What's
It's
the
women.
percentage on that one?
Nearly 70% of divorces are initiated by women.
Whew.
This is according to a 2015 research study conducted by American Sociological Association.
Okay.
When the women are college educated, that number is 90%.
Oh.
So that kind of goes to our conversation earlier about.
Okay. Do they have the ages?
It doesn't have the age. This is a study.
See,
I think it's just women across the board. So college educated women, if you let your stuff slack off just a bit, they gonna divorce you.
Right.
90% of the divorces are initiated by women.
I'd love to hear the ages though.
I don't know about the ages. You can go look at the study, but that was shocking to me too.
Yeah.
You know, there's always that saying that, you know, when men get married, we talk about change, right? So when men get married to a woman, they get married because they don't want her to change, right? They want her to kind of stay the same. And when women get married, they absolutely expect their man to change. And so there's always like that clash, right? You know, you got to continue to fight through. And then if you're not keeping up, you're not growing, you're not earning, you're out.
But I mean, so and then let's wrap this part of the conversation up. But I would just say, as far as what I agree with Champion about is that, you know, if you meet somebody that's doing a certain thing and they happen to lose their job, we're not gonna say, okay, we're leaving. We're gonna stick around and we're gonna help build them up to what we know that they came into and if they decide that we don't want to do this anymore, then we're thinking like, okay, you're a different person than the person I met that I married. You don't want to do anything now because I'm doing everything.
Right.
That would be a little bit disheartening. And so I agree with
I agree. Yeah, I agree. But it's not, but for somebody like that, who's a go-getter like that, like she's going to get somebody who's going to have similar thoughts. And it's not so much the job that you lost.
Right.
It's how do you respond? You're like, it's, and then how do you get back up and get yourself back up? Like that also can be very enticing or attractive or whatever you want to call it too. Like, it's like, how do you respond to adversity can also say a lot of, like, also means to, you know, staying in that sort of relationship.
Right.
Also, go ahead.
Also, what is expected, because they did go into that, like what is expected of somebody that you get into a relationship and get married with? Do you want them to, you know, cook your dinner and fold your clothes and wash your clothes, and you do all the work at your job, you come home? Do you want me to like start washing the clothes and washing the dishes and doing all this stuff? Because dealing with somebody like her that is, you know, always in Los Angeles and then flying to New York, they're probably not home a lot to do all of this stuff. She would probably expect the person who's not making as much as her to do some of that stuff. Are you doing that as a man? As a man, John? Are you doing that stuff? Like, explain.
Let's go back to the, so for quick for me, I do cook here and there, but not all the time. Like this house is run by my wife. I'm like, don't let me tell you differently. Do I cook here and there? I do. Summertimes I'm on the grill. There will be Tuesday nights. Taco nights. That's my night. I make breakfasts, but it's more like specialized stuff. But let's go back to the example I made. So let's say that I'm with you're with somebody that's with a Carrie Champion who works on Zoom all day, making millions of dollars. You get home from working your UPS job, you make $100,000, and you're making good money, right? But you come home to work in a 10-hour day, lifting box and stuff. And you like, damn, baby, you cooked me a meal after working all day. You couldn't rub my feet.
Right.
And she's like, nigga, no. She's like, nah. She gonna be like, I just made what you made in a day. Like, you cooked me, you cooked me something. That could be a little clash there too, right? I don't know.
So how would you feel about that? You just worked, you know, 80 hours a week. You got one day off a week. You come home, you say, honey, like, the stove's cold. Where's the where's the food?
I think that I would say that couple is not equally yoked. You probably need to get yourself a chick that maybe can be a little bit more understanding of
Right.
what you're going through.
I think that would just.
Go ahead.
No, I would just say I think it would just come down to, and this is another point that was brought up in the interview, that if you come in knowing that your wife or your husband is a certain way, and then you accept that at the beginning, don't, like, just like your point, the women expect the men to change. Like, don't expect people to change in the middle and then wonder why there's issues later on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That'll be the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very interesting stuff. I mean, if couples definitely. I mean, what do you think of this conversation? I mean, can lower economic sort of like men, can they still run their household if their wife sort of like makes more, or is the breadwinner? How would that make you feel? What are your thoughts on that?
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, when I met my wife, she made a lot more than me, had a great career going, and had to put up with me on the onset. So I'm so grateful to this day that she did.
Yeah.
All right, and the last thing I think we wanted to touch on really quick, Dwayne, was Brittney Griner. Yesterday, I believe the WNBA had their All-Star game. It was really cool, and if you saw, all the players came out with 42 Griner on their jerseys.
Right. Yeah.
Really nice. Sort of tribute to Brittney Griner. It's a very sad situation. She's been over there since February, I think February 17th. She's been in a Russian jail for essentially having like a hashish oil cartridges or something in her oil in her bags. Have you been following the story, Dwayne? And you got any initial thoughts on Brittney Griner and her situation right now?
So I've seen the reports, and it's sad. I mean, I'm not one to say that this type of offense is worth this amount of time or whatever. What I will say, and I don't know what type of backlash I'm going to get from this, but I will say, when you're in another country, you have to be careful about the things you do, because if they decide to charge you for something in another country, they're not going to be charging you like you're in New York.
Right.
They're going to go by their standards.
Yeah. And their standards are corrupt. It's bullshit charges that she's got. Yeah.
Right.
Everybody can agree with the charges are bullshit, but to your point, it's in a different country. You can't. There's nothing you can do about it.
Right. For people in America that's looking in, it really looks crazy. And it probably looks crazy to the people in Russia too. Who knows?
Right.
But for people over here, it looks crazy. And, I wish nothing but the best. Hopefully we can get her back. But I would just say, for people that go in other countries, just be careful, because we wouldn't want something crazy like this to happen to you. And I just hope for the best from her. I can't say it's another country. I don't know. That's all I can say.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I agree everything you're saying. I mean, it's obviously the charges are trumped up charges. Obviously it's crap, but
so do you think it's trumped up because it's an American? Yeah,
no, it's absolutely. Russia's a see. People complain about America all day long, right? And like, oh, our justice system sucks, and it does.
Right.
But it could be worse. We could have Russians, and we could have where they can throw you in jail for 10 years for a little weak, empty cartridge. The charges are absolutely extreme. To your point, it's a different country.
Wait, so I'm sorry, so cutting you off, but
yeah.
So you believe that because so if it was a Russian person with this same thing, you're saying that?
No, I think it would have happened. Yeah, I think it probably. No. I think if she was a Russian person, if it's a Russian person, would they get the same time? Maybe.
Because you're saying it's trumped up. So is it trumped up because she's American?
Let's go through the timeline.
Okay.
Let's go through the timeline. I'll throw a couple other examples at you as well. So she got arrested 2017. Now this is of course before the war in Ukraine, but not not too far ahead. So she's been in jail since February 17th.
Okay.
I don't know if we have time to go down the line too, but there's a lot of people like, well, why is she even over there? If LeBron James was over there, this would never pause. Stop with the LeBron James, Steph Curry conversations. No, they don't need to go to Russia to get $1 million. Yes, we know that. No, women's basketball is not on the same level as NBA basketball. We can have that conversation later. Please stop with Black women are disrespected. If this was a white person or LeBron, they would be out sooner. No, they wouldn't.
Right.
There's another American over there also by the name of Paul Whelan. He's been there for 3 years. He was convicted of spying in an absolute rigged trial. It was bullshit. Just like the same trial that Brittney Griner's got. He's already been there for 3 years.
Right.
There was another guy by the name of Trevor Reed who was in jail for 2 years on some bullshit charges that he assaulted a police officer. So, these are not LeBron and Steph Curry either. Like, they don't have the same money in the notorious, whatever.
Notorious?
No, not notorious. Notoriety. Notoriety. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
One of those words.
So there's precedent of Americans, yes, being held over there of all different walks of life, because everyone wants to do and lately like the victim Olympics. Well, she's black and she's 6'9" and she's gay, so therefore we need to. She's being treated worse than anybody else would. Well, I don't know if that's true. In fact, I think because she's 6'9" and black and plays basketball, she's probably getting more notoriety. I mean, if you heard of Paul Whelan and then if you heard of Trevor Reed, then my point is wrong. But if you've never heard of them, then yeah, Brittney Griner is probably getting it, and it's a good thing. But this like everyone wants to go to the lowest victim denominator. That's a whole other argument I'm gonna have. But anyway, I think that she's over there on some BS charges. There's other Americans that the Biden administration, I think they're trying to get Griner and Paul Whelan out at the same time. The White House and the State Department have been talking with Brittany's wife, who's been really brave throughout this whole thing. I think she's been great doing what the family held back for a while because they were told that if they made too much of a big deal about this,
right,
that Brittney would be more of a bigger pawn in the global sort of
against us, right.
used against us. But then her wife lately is just like, well, I'm over it now. Y'all told me to wait. I waited. This is my wife. I want to get her out. And I respect. I think Sherelle's her name. She did an interview. Russia State News put out a story that they were going to try to trade Brittney Griner and maybe Paul Whelan for a man by the name of Victor Bout. He's a U.S. prisoner. We have him here. He was accused or convicted or whatever of financing terrorism. This is not the first time that the Russians have tried to get Victor Bout out. They've been trying to get Victor Bout out for a long time.
Right.
And our government accuses them of being a financier of terrorism. So that's, I think, what the big dance is right now. Can we trade Brittney Griner, Paul Whelan, get them for this Victor Bout guy? Is that a good trade? Does the State Department want to do that? I think that's kind of where maybe the arguments or not arguments, but the sort of the conversation, are happening. This argument too about pay equity and the WNBA is 30 years old. I don't know that NBA player.
Wait. Hold on. What?
Yeah, the WNBA, I believe, is 30 years old, right? But
so wait. Cheryl Swoops.
90s.
Rebecca Lobo. And who was the other one?
90s, yeah.
Remember, it was three women that they headlined at the start of the WNBA, the inaugural season. That was 30 years ago, my guy.
1997. Right, so.
Okay, so not 30. You about to. Jeez.
Okay, yeah, 25, whatever.
25. I mean, listen.
You had Cynthia Cooper was great.
Yeah. Cynthia Cooper was the girl.
Yeah. Anyway, here's the overall point I'm making though. Like,
yes, and then we got to wrap this up, man.
We got to wrap it up. Okay.
Yeah.
NBA at 30 years old wasn't the NBA that it is now, right? You got to still sort of build it up. 25 years, 30, whatever. And so, people that complain about pay equity, I would ask them, are you a WNBA season ticket holder? Do you go to WNBA games? If you just feel like the NBA should just continue to subsidize, they do, right? So it depends on what's your outlook on life. Like that seed money that the NBA gives, are you grateful for that seed money? And like the Bible says, in the parable of the talents, Matthew 25:14-30, do you get the 2 talents and then flip it and make it 4? Or you get the one, just so your outlook on life, or you get the 1 talent and say, it's all the NBA gave me and I'm just going to bury it and not make it more. Just depends on your outlook on life. You know, the Bible told me about the flip. The streets told me about the flip. You know, I heard about the flip my whole life. The drug culture, living in the hood, like the streets tell you about the flip. Anytime you get something in, you flip. You gotta make it double. That's what the WNBA needs to do. They need to continue to grow their game so that their players don't need to go overseas to get $1 million from Russian oligarchs, because that's probably gone anyway, because the Russian oligarchs were really just financing these teams to launder their money. Right, like, so they were just giving. They could give Brittney Griner money. It was a vanity thing. They were laundering money for the Russian mobs. Now that the war is happening, all the oligarch money is tied up, locked up. The other countries are locking up their boats. So those overseas checks are probably going to dry up anyway. Not that any player would want to go overseas anyway because of what happened to Brittney, but the Russian checks probably for sure. Like, 1, no one's going to go over there, but 2, a lot of the oligarchs are now tied up in the war. They don't even have the money to like finance these things to give someone like a Brittney $1 million. And so, yes, I want to see Brittney and all the WNBA players make more money, but it's not on the NBA job to continue to finance them. They give them enough. You got to flip what they give you, but also too, they need to build their game and advertise more and get more people to go to the games and buy season tickets. So free Brittney Griner. I want her to come home. There's a lot more going on. Are we going to give up this guy? Or is she going to be there maybe 2 or 3 years? My prediction, she's probably going to be there about 2 years before she.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see, man.
All right, you got to go to baseball. This is definitely a bridge version. It's a lot of stuff we talked to really fast.
Yeah, I think we got a lot of information out though. It's gonna be a
lot of information out.
Starter. Yeah.
Yes. We talked about a lot of interesting things, single motherhoods. What do women, 2 guys talking about what women want these days. I mean, we know everything. We can talk about that, right? But if you think you agree with us, if you like our content, please like and subscribe. The Chess Moves podcast. Really appreciate everyone taking a listen today.
Yes. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all, man. Love
appreciate
you,
Doug. Yeah, love you too, man. Have fun at baseball. Give Nas and the family my love. Talk to you later.
All right.
Yep. Peace.